What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Locker podcast. I am Brandon, and as always is 5 episodes now, I'm with Jim and Patrick.
What's up,
Hey,
guys?
what's going on?
So, first off, I guess we're starting with the trailer for the Belko Experiment, which is James Gunn's new movie. Both of you guys get a chance to watch that?
Wait, you mean it wasn't
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Right? Like, especially after that teaser that you're like, oh man, I bet he
Right.
could never do anything creepy again. Just
Right.
kidding.
Just
This looks
kidding.
terrifying.
Well, you almost forget that he has that background
Yeah,
And
like
that's-
Slither and
in rubber. And
yeah.
Yeah.
okay. And then you see that, and you're like, one, I didn't know he was doing anything non-Guardians of the Galaxy at the moment, and then it was like, holy crap, this looks like sadistic, crazy horror, unbelievable, awesome.
Sadistic's a really good word for this. Like I
Yeah.
was, because if you guys have seen the trailer, it looks like these people that work for a pretty big, like I guess noteworthy, company.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the place just goes into lockdown, and somebody on the speaker is like, hey, kill people or we'll kill people. And then this dude's head explodes, and I guess it starts like pushing employees against each other.
Well, you have to
And
kill three
it's-
people. Remember, you have to.
Oh, it says 3 people or will kill 6 people,
Right.
and then by the end of the trailer it says 30 of you must die or we'll kill 60 of you.
Right.
I'm
Right.
like,
right.
fuck,
Yeah.
this sounds
exactly.
insane. So it's
abs-
written by James Gunn, but it's not directed by James Gunn.
But it's cool because the team up, the director Greg McLean did the Wolf Creek series from Australia. Have you guys seen those?
Wolf Creek, is that the one with you know what? I haven't seen this.
It's
gonna-
creepy. It's all get out. I mean, it's like it's kind of like our Jason and Fred. Well, more like Jason and Michael Myers, but it's like real people.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like brutal. It's like I don't know how to describe it other than
Looks very
one dude
Texas,
just going around
Texas
serial killer
Chainsaw.
killing. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly more like it.
Wow.
Yeah. So those two teaming up, this should be pretty amazing.
Are you aware that James Gunn also wrote the screenplay for the Scooby-Doo movies? Because that was something I did not know.
I did not know that.
Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah. Did not know that.
I mean, either way, dude, those are
Everybody
entertaining.
say, Jack.
Movie 43. Oh, he did that one too. Yeah, I mean, you totally forget about Slither and a few other things. So then you watch this and you're like, oh yeah, James Gunn can be absolutely terrifying.
Right, because I mean, most of us think that once you are involved with the Marvel Universe, that becomes your life. Because if it was us, I think it would become our lives. So I think we forget that there are other ways too.
We just like the idea of appearing in a comic book movie, and everything past that is like, oh no, I don't need to do anything else.
Pretty much, right? I can die a happy man,
Yeah,
but you only make 20 grand. So what?
yeah, exactly. Well, Michael Rooker's in this. Who's he appears in just about every
Just
James
list all the
Gunn
names.
movie.
I want to see how many you mess up. Go ahead.
Oh well, John C. McGinley, I like him. Dr.
Yeah.
Cox, and I'm just gonna say Sean Gunn, and past that, no one else is getting announced here because
John Gallagher Jr. He was from 10 Cloverfield Lane and The Newsroom.
he was. Oh, dude, I loved Cloverfield Lane. I thought that was really well done. Did anybody
Yeah.
else like that movie?
No.
No.
No, fuck you guys. That was really fun.
Sorry, you answered incorrectly.
Oh man, John Goodman was creepy.
Yes, he was. He did great acting. I liked the acting. It was just like, what a dumb story.
I don't know, man. It was. I enjoyed it.
It's all right. We all have our guilty pleasure movies. I just went through my DVD collection and had to get rid of a lot of my guilty pleasure movies that I nobody else would watch but me. Like
Is that what you called your porn, or?
No, my porn.
I'm not getting rid of that, Brandon. Duh.
No, my porn's on my phone, dude. Duh.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's 2016.
It's 2016. Get with it. Come on. That's the real reason why the phones are waterproof. You know that, right?
Fucking hell. That's great.
But
So, hold on, what movies were you getting rid of as we awkwardly
man,
segue
it was
back from that?
it was just like a bunch of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
Okay.
like movies that Mr. and Mrs. Smith. There was what was another one? Day After the Day After Tomorrow, Day After Next, the environmental movie where
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid. Got rid of that. Got rid of just a bunch of what I call couch catcher movies. Those movies that are always playing on Saturday afternoon. And I felt like, okay, I don't need to hold on to these anymore because nine weekends out of the 10, they're going to be on AMC or some other channel. But the ones I did hold on to. I'm like personally attached to, and they're horrible movies as well. But like I saved Riddick. Riddick was
Those are pretty bad.
yeah, Riddick. No, not all of them. Not Pitch
What do you
Black.
mean those are pretty bad, Brandon?
I'm just not a Vin Diesel
That first
fan.
one, Pitch Black, is awesome.
Pitch Black was good, but it was I saved actually Riddick because
Right.
it was the one that
It
Vin
made
Diesel
it
did by
sound like
himself.
they were all bad.
I just don't like
I
Vin
thought it was
Diesel.
good.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a huge Vin Diesel fan after Fast and Furious 7, so I'm like, just leave it alone. But like that and like
Good thing I stopped at 6.
Yeah, except they're coming out with 8 now
yeah, exactly.
because we need more race cars.
Exactly. Even as a car guy, please just
Please, enough of this.
enough of this. Iron Monkey. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that kung fu flick. It's awesome.
A long time ago.
Yeah. So like things like that. Point of No Return. Bridget Fonda. That was the best. Great movie. So there's like stuff like that I kept. Like movies that most people won't even watch or you don't see that often.
You just dropped them off on a corner. You were like, "Here, just take these."
I handed them over to the Goodwill guy with a tear in my eye.
Aw.
I was like,
Aw.
some good stuff there, man. Make sure they find a good home. And then he threw it into the pile of junk with the rest of it.
Yeah, he was just threw them next to the VHSs that nobody's buying.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, dude. Actually, VHSs people are buying now. That whole retro shit's going ridiculous.
Really?
Yes, man. There's retro game stores now.
I understand vinyl and old video games, but to me, putting a cassette tape or a whatever the hell I just said it was.
Cassette tape, VHS
Well, no,
tape.
like an actual VHS tape or a cassette tape, that I've never understood the draw to, because I remember being a kid and putting in a VHS and just having that hi-fi, low-fi thing show up all the goddamn time. So when we started getting DVDs, I was like, look at how normal this is. Why would I go back to that?
Yeah, so that brings up a question. You obviously, if you get a record, you're going to get a record player.
Yeah.
You're going to really experience it to the fullest. So are people going to buy old, crappy square TVs to really fully experience the crappy quality of VHS?
Yeah, you got to get one of those ones that were big old boxes that you
Right.
weighed 1,000 pounds.
How do you think?
I never understood how anyone got robbed back in the day, because those TVs, fuck no. You're not moving that upstairs, let alone out the front door. Get out of here.
That was the whole reason why my mother always bought the big floor model TVs.
Because they're not stealing this.
Yeah, pretty much. She was like, everybody's walking out the door with this.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, but then they have to find a VHS player. That's even fucking worse.
dude,
I've got 2.
At least with records, you don't have to rewind them. You have to rewind the VHS when you're done.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Fucking millennials.
Yeah.
We're the worst.
yeah, that's your generation, man.
They're all I'm sorry. I apologize. All I've been doing lately is apologizing for millennials and white people, so I'll just keep it up.
I will give you that. White people are the worst.
Oh my God, we're awful. We're so bad. But anyways, on to completely unrelated news.
Oh, we're talking about trouble. Let's talk about troubles with Rogue One, man.
Yes.
What is going on? This is the second time I've heard about this, and when I say this, and we're talking about the ending of this movie, it doesn't bode well for me.
I didn't understand what the problem was initially, but I heard that people watched it and they were like, "Oh, this ending's awful." But to me, like this is like watching a World War II movie. Like I know how like what was it, Valkyrie or
Mhm.
Anthropoid that just came out, which is very very good. But it's like it's like the plan to take down Hitler. We know how this ends. Like they
Right,
don't do it.
right,
So I feel like Rogue One, it's like, how else can this end besides them not destroying the Death Star yet?
right. I
Right.
mean,
I thought from the beginning we knew this leads right into episode 4.
right.
So yeah, how do you screw up the ending?
I,
Well, you can though. I mean, you look at
Well, obviously, yeah, they did originally.
well, look at Prometheus. Prometheus is
That
another
whole movie
example.
sucks.
Like Prometheus, I enjoyed the movie all the way until the end. And the end, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I
You
feel
know,
like I'm the only person who enjoyed every minute of Prometheus.
Not true. If you go to
not
that YouTube video of us, everybody's attacking me.
Oh
right,
yeah,
right. And by the way, that was like one of our highest like traffic
yeah,
Yeah,
pages ever in the site's
that
history.
like Piranha 2.
yeah. I was just saying we were talking shit about Piranha 3D or Piranha 2 or whatever, and was like, "How dare you?"
Yeah, exactly. But Prometheus was for me was like, okay, we know how this is going to end. We know this is what's going to happen and why Ripley ends up on this planet and how she ends up on this planet. But yet the handoff to the next stage was kind of jacked up. I mean,
I mean, she takes like Michael Fassbender's severed
head
head and
and takes
flies
off.
off into space.
Right, and then we're left with an alien that kind of looks like the alien that we're used to seeing, and that's it. I'm like, okay, that's the end of it. For me, I was looking for a little bit of either complete mass, you know, destruction, and the alien's the only thing that's left around living, or something to something a little bit cleaner than picking up Michael Fassbender's head and say we're gonna find this place. No,
Yeah.
bitch. If you do, you're dead. And now we're gonna find out what's gonna happen in Prometheus too. So
Well,
I
I
could be
feel like
completely wrong.
something like Prometheus, though, like even if like, don't get me wrong, the Alien franchise, or
Mhm.
movies people love, and people are really into them, but Star Wars obviously has a much bigger following.
Yeah, of course.
But
And
I'm
and
wondering what the ending was that people were upset about.
Well, it's interesting too because the guy that they brought in that they were talking about was Tony Gilroy, who is an amazing action director and I guess more to the point writer because he wrote the first 3 Bourne movies and directed was it Legacy with Jeremy Renner,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which I thought was fine. It was a good movie, but the action sequences in it were fantastic. So I'm not exactly sure what the original was versus what did he just pace it so it was more choppy and more high octane? Like what were they trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna just have to wait and find out because that's like the one piece. Because we've talked about this before, Jim, and I have issues with the J.J. Abrams Star Wars universe. Like I mainly because it's the lack of attention to detail on some pieces to the film. Um, like for example, my pet peeve of the X-wing cockpit, like X-wing cockpit in Star Wars: New Hope, and throughout the Star Wars franchise has always been very tight. You felt like you were in a fighter jet or some kind of fighting compartment, and Luke's and every pilot's motions were very constricted. So you had that sense of tightness. In the Force Awakens, it looks like Poe is dancing around the cockpit because there's no seatbelts. You know,
Yeah.
God, for God's sakes, you're flying in space. There's no seatbelts. What's going on? I don't know.
Well,
I
that
was
was my
just
joke. My joke back to you was I think they based the cockpit on Snap Wexley, and then made the same size for everybody else who was much smaller, and he was the
right.
big guy.
Right, because like,
He was the new Jack Porkins.
yeah, he was the new Porkins.
Fucking Porkins.
Yeah, he's a new Porkins, and I think you're right. They may have made one cockpit for him, and then like said, screw it. You know, you guys will have to deal with
I
all this extra space.
God, I hope they like bring him up in these like prequel movies. Just Porkins. Like I don't know. I want to see him doing stuff. I want to see like young Porkins.
Oh, that would be awesome.
He's
Well,
the
there was
he,
speculation that one of the X-wings was being piloted by a younger Porkins.
Oh yes, that's amazing.
What on
Yeah.
Rogue One?
Yeah. Sorry, on Rogue One.
Oh,
Dude,
that
I
be
would
so
go
great.
see it just for
Fuck
young
yes.
Porkins.
I hope in the next Star Wars movie there's like a kid who's like, my name's Ted Porkins. My dad died blowing up the Death Star. Now I'm with you guys, and like he's the same person, and then he just gets shot down.
No, dude, I would like to see a Hodor storyline with Porkins.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
that's
It's
fucking.
it's fucked up, but it would be fun.
I think the only thing that would make that better is if you add the most incompetent bounty hunter named Dengar, and then add in the storyline.
Okay, so they're coming out with we'll get Rogue One this year. We get the next Star Wars episode the year after that. Then we get the Han Solo movie. Then we get the next Star Wars movie, and then we get Dengar v Porkins.
Come on.
Because can we at least get a miniseries, Marvel? Can we get someone to write this? Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that'll be the TV. You know how they didn't make
they both suck so much. Like nobody really wins or loses. They just kind of like roll around for an hour and a half.
These guys are the worst.
Awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Anyways, on to more. Well, not Star Wars related, but Billy D. Williams.
Yeah,
We all
that's
know
Star
him
Wars.
in Star Wars. For those of you that don't remember, when he appeared in Tim Burton's Batman movie, he was Harvey Dent. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but initially he was contracted to play Two-Face, and they actually had to buy him out of his contract
Yep.
to cast Tommy Lee Jones in it. So that was like fully intended to happen, and they had to give him money so they could cast somebody else. But he will be playing Two-Face now. He will be appearing in Lego Batman as Two-Face.
And to tell you the truth, that was awesome because like I remember in '89 when the Tim Burton Batman came out. One of the things I was excited about was the fact that Billy D. Williams, this smooth character, was going to play Two-Face, and I was like, dude, this is going to be good. And then it didn't happen. In Lego Batman, it's more of like an homage to
Oh yeah, I mean
the-
they're making this movie to kind of poke fun at everything, which
Oh,
I love
yeah.
when they do shit like this with comic
Well,
books.
his little appearance in the Lego Movie as Lando was awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
He was
Billy
hilarious.
D. Williams is just awesome.
Well, and Brandon, I think you're a little young. Maybe you don't know these, like the Colt 45 commercials.
I remember that.
Nighthawks
I've
with
seen that.
Sylvester Stallone. Like he was the man.
Yeah.
Oh no, Billy D. Williams is the shit.
Yeah.
But I think this is cool that like it's just absurd you're making a Lego Batman movie. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be funny. But like the idea of doing a Lego Batman movie is just silly to me. And I love that they're like, hey, let's give him Two-Face.
Yeah. Just because.
Did you see who's the Joker?
Isn't Zach Galifianakis?
Yeah,
Yes.
that cracks me up. Or who's Robin?
Oh, it's hold on.
Robin.
Michael Cera, right?
Yeah,
Is it
like some of
really?
this casting just cracks me up by itself.
Let me see. They got Ray Fiennes as Alfred.
Yep. What English guy's not doing something? Let's get him.
Yeah, we need a British accent. Jenny Slate is going to be Harley Quinn. She's pretty hilarious. She's always on Drunk History.
Yeah.
He rocked it in the Chipmunks movie.
You know they're making another goddamn Smurfs movie?
Yeah.
So you know how we get the press release thing and the new movies that are coming out?
Yeah.
I did not know that was coming out. I was floored.
Oh, for the love of God. Like, we still can't get a A-Team sequel. We've got
Right.
another fucking... We've got like 5 Alvin and the Chipmunks movies and 4 Smurf movies, and they... I don't know. Fuck, come on, guys.
No A-Team.
Rosario Dawson's playing Batgirl,
Oh, nice.
and then Mariah Carey's playing the mayor. And then we got Billy D. Williams.
I think that's a direct answer to Donald Trump playing the president.
I guess.
There you go.
Only I can't believe I would say this out loud, but that sounds like way more logical than. Once again, I apologize for white people. Sorry about the things we do. Yeah, I don't know. That could be fun.
No,
They were.
I think it will be because they don't go. They seem to have gotten the formula down for the Lego movie, so I'm not worried at all.
I saw another along the lines of the fucking Smurfs. I saw a poster for something. Oh God! Did you guys see the teaser for Cars 3?
Yeah, that was kind of depressing, dude.
Okay, like let's go through the Cars universe of like the first one. It's a movie about talking race cars, like it's a
Right.
Pixar movie. Then the second one, it's like, okay, race cars, just kidding, they're all spies. What?
Yeah.
And now the third one, they're like, guys, I think he's gonna die. Like, what the fuck is like? Pixar used to make kids movies, and then somewhere along the line, they're just like, how are we gonna make people cry all the time?
Well, from what I understand, John Lasseter just absolutely loved. That's his baby. His pet project was Cars.
Really?
And if you'll notice, everyone that was a spin-off of that, like Planes and whatever else they did, was no longer Pixar. It went to Disney.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want to tarnish the shield of Pixar, but somehow these Cars movies keep getting released. And I can only imagine because John Lasseter just sitting there, almost like that Nicolas Cage YouTube thing, that he'll take any movie that's pitched to him. It's like, oh, we're going to do an idea with cars or spies. Yes, I'm in. We're gonna do an
100%.
idea where we kill off all the cars. Okay, let's do that. Then we'll have another generation. It's like, oh, dear.
Well, it's like
God.
you watch the trailer for the first movie, and it's that stupid goddamn "Life Is a Highway" song, and it's like just the perfect amount of hokey and dumb and whatever. And then it's like you watch the trailer for this, and it's a slow motion wreck of Lightning McQueen, and it's like it says something like fucking dark. It's like everything ends. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, let's put it this way: when I went and saw the trailer, was it Moana? Had the trailer when I was taking my kids. My son,
Kids are like, what is happening?
Yeah, my son just had this look on his face, like, what the hell is going on? My world's about to be torn apart because, like, Cars was his first movie experience, so he's looking at me like, Dad, please say it's not going to happen, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you right now.
Oh, it's from this moment everything will change.
Yeah.
That's what like. Holy fuck, guys, relax a little bit. Freaking out, man.
Yeah, no. What can you do? It's
Well,
close it up.
we can freak out, and the thing I'm definitely freaking out about is fucking Westworld, guys.
Yeah, sorry for the I don't know. We had like the 20, 30, 40 something people that are watching us, listening to us are 8 probably.
And Joe Biden.
And Joe Biden. Who are listening, but yes, it's time for me and Brandon to wig out about Westworld because Jim has not caught up on his episodes yet.
And you are
Oh,
listen.
speaking of which,
Oh wait,
there are some amazing cameos in The Sopranos. Like Will Arnett was in it. Who knew?
Everybody, Jim. Everybody knew. Okay.
It's like everyone, like if you go back and watch Curb Your Enthusiasm from the beginning, everybody has appeared in that show as well. HBO just does that. But I like how Westworld's going on, and everyone's freaking out about Westworld, and Jim is like, guys, when's the last time you've binge watched The Sopranos?
Well, the problem was I watched the first 3 years, and somehow I thought it was a lot more. And I started watching it again. I'm like, holy crap, I didn't watch all of it. And So now I'm stuck. So take that.
Doesn't did you watch it all the first time through? Like this is your second run through of The Sopranos?
No,
Or
if you
no?
were listening to what I just said,
Oh
I
yeah,
watched the
okay, never
first
mind. I'm
3
stupid. I'm a
episodes.
dumb guy. Never mind. I thought like in the last season, like someone starts building like model trains and the show gets really fucking weird. So I would like an update when you get to that season.
I'm there. I have like 2 episodes left. I'll be honest. The last season just seems to be not as good, and it's kind of dragging on. And after Westworld, or after you guys started saying Westworld was great, I had to wait till Sopranos was over to binge that and then go on to that. So I'm almost to Westworld.
Okay. Well, if you guys haven't listeners have not got a chance to catch up, please just stop, fast forward. I don't know what to tell you, but fuck.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, the last episode, like the episode 7 was the big turning point. I think that's the last time we had a freak out
Right.
about everything. But episode 9 had so many things like just stuffed into that episode that I was like I had to rewatch it
Right.
because it
I
was
had
just
to
too
sit there and
much.
watch it twice. So just to go over the episode is it's in the episode we find out who Arnold is. And
Yes,
um,
which I didn't fucking see coming at all.
I kind of did. I was talking about this with my brother. I kind of had an idea that, well, first of all, Arnold, Bernard, Arnold, they're the same guy. Um, and the reason why I thought it
Well,
was,
Bernard is a copy
yeah,
of.
Bernard is a copy of Arnold. Now, the the thing we found out in this episode was basically, one, again, Steve Jobs slash Hannibal Lecter, um, Anthony Hopkins is sick in the head because he can't let go of anything, apparently,
Yeah,
including his business partners.
yeah,
Um,
like
like anything at all.
no,
It's either his way, you're stuck with him, it's ride or die, plain and
yeah.
simple. And even when you die, he's going to rebuild you, apparently.
Well, he even says that to Bernard because
Hmm.
he says something to him, and Bernard's like, "We've had this conversation before," and he just kind of has this look like, "Well, I'm gonna have to do another one," and it's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you psychotic robot making man."
yeah, pretty much. And what we do is we have a couple confirmations on some different fan theories that have been floating around on the internet. One, the Men in Black, who he is.
That was absolutely to me. That was absolutely confirmed. I don't know about you,
Yeah, it
but
was totally confirmed. You the scene where he um, Logan, his brother-in-law, or
shows
future
that picture.
shows him the picture. It is the same picture from episode 1 that
Yeah,
causes Dolores' dad to kind of
to
flip
just
out.
lose his goddamn mind.
Right, he loses his mind. The second piece was the knife. The knife at the end, when Logan wakes up from a drunken stupor, Billy, or William, as he likes to be called, is sitting on a stool in the middle of like a bunch of slaughtered
He
robots.
just goes ham on these
Yeah,
fucking robots.
he goes absolute berserk on these robots, cuts them to shreds, and says, "I figured out the game." And
Yep.
because he figured out that, one, the robots can't hurt him,
Yep.
but he can hurt them. And then two, if you look at the knife that he has in his hand is the exact same knife
That Ed
that
Harris has.
Ed Harris uses to cut the rope, and he's been using to gut everybody
Yeah.
left and right.
Now
So,
here's something interesting about that too is if you the episode I think it was episode 8 when Ed Harris is talking, he talks about how his wife killed herself and his kids disowned him
mhm,
and this is all he has. So in the next episode when you find out the kind of backstory of who he was when he was younger, you realize that like he came here once and just like became obsessed.
mhm, mhm.
And I mean even off topic of his story, uh Dandy Newton is fucking incredible.
Yes.
Holy shit. And her character is now like the scariest one on the TV show.
I think she's the scariest one, but not she. She probably won't scare Ford. You know, because
I
Ford's
see. I think he will. Remember, she stops Bernard.
right. She stops Bernard because she knows what Bernard is.
Yeah,
Right. The thing is that Ford knows what she is.
yeah, that's true.
And the thing that people don't understand, the little hand gestures and commands and shit like that he has like built into these robots, that's where I think she's going to need Bernard's help. So in the next episode, we're going to see her help Bernard get back on his feet, literally, after taking a gun to his head, um, because Anthony Hopkins decided to do so. And because Bernard and Arnold are the same person, theoretically, we're going to have an expansion. And, I think Gizmodo or one of the IO9 had an article about how Westworld is running out of theories to
I don't think
confirm.
so, man.
I
I think
don't
they
know.
have a lot left in the tank.
Yeah, I think they have a whole shit ton left in the tank because, you know, the episodes, was it 7, was I think we talked about our Ned Stark moment,
Yeah, it was.
right? We're like, oh, fuck. And then we get hit with another whammy with episode 9, and now we're seeing what can really go on because,
Exactly.
we find out who killed Arnold. It was,
Yeah,
it was
which is
Dolores.
something. Now they don't say how or what happened yet, but
Right.
that's like super interesting as well. Now I read because I was interested, like just in what the whole idea of this is, and because I kind of thought I'm like I don't know how they're going to drag this past one season. What they did is I read that they wrote the entire story. It is 5 seasons long, and that is what they need to tell the complete story of Westworld.
Nice.
So they presented it as a complete project. They didn't, just start and don't have an idea to end it. They did everything. They have everything written out, and it just needs to keep going for 4 more years.
So basically, they didn't pull,
The Sopranos, where they're like, "Fuck, what do we do?" and they're playing with
yeah,
trains in the last season.
Sopranos or even Game of Thrones to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, George R. R. Martin says he has everything written, but you don't
Yeah,
know that because it's taken him like 8 years to put out a goddamn book.
exactly.
Well,
So
it actually turned out for the better though, because this past season was awesome.
Oh yeah, fuck
Even
yeah, it
before that
was.
sucked.
That
yeah,
yeah, and that we don't. You guys know we don't get that till the summer now, right?
yeah, because
Usually premieres in April.
well, they have to
So how's that
film during the
affect Silicon
wintertime.
Valley? Is that also delayed? I never looked at that.
Which was?
Silicon Valley.
I
No,
don't think that's delayed. They delayed Game of Thrones because they wanted to film during the winter time.
yeah,
Right. No. I know that, but those two always aired back to once
Yeah,
Silicon Valley started, they aired back to back. And I don't want to wait for Silicon Valley. That show's awesome.
it's
I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've only watched the first season.
Silicon Valley. I don't know. I'm a little bit biased since living in Silicon Valley. I'm just over it. So for me, it's not funny. Because
To me,
it's
it's
too close to
hilarious because I don't
home.
have anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's too close to home for me. I'm like, I got to deal with these people during the daytime. Why do I want to watch them when I'm relaxing? Um, I think what they're going to do is they're going to air the rest of us or leftovers with Silicon Valley.
That show I never got into, and I heard it kind of died off a little bit.
It got really weird last season.
Yeah,
Really, really weird. I mean, not in a bad way. I like the show. I still like the show. It makes you question your existence. It's like in a way like the way Walking Dead does.
yeah,
After you watch Walking Dead, you're just thinking how fucked up the world is. You're like, oh my god, I hope this never happens. And Leftovers kind of keeps you in the same state of mind. Which sucks because they both come on Sundays, and you just end up drinking and going to bed depressed. So
yeah.
I suggest staggering the episodes. So
Well, it's funny you say Walking Dead because I did want to bring that up.
yeah,
That we're talking about like weird TV shows. The ratings have dropped
yeah,
significantly since the season premiere.
oh yeah, oh
Because
yeah,
all they do is their exposition every episode. It's
exactly.
not entertaining anymore.
Yeah. See,
No,
I
I agree.
I quit watching around like season. I stay up with it just because it's all everybody ever fucking talks about. And I read. We've all read the comics to a certain extent, but when they got rid of Dale and Andrea, I was kind of like, well, I have really no interest in this anymore. But
Right.
everyone's saying that after the season finale, the rest of the season's boring. Nobody's really into it anymore. So I'm wondering how much longer this show has.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's with Walking Dead, they really need to get back to the basics, back to what was making them what made that show popular. I mean, Negan is a great character, and I think that having Negan in it is awesome. But the long drawn out scenes of like Carl and the intricacies of the relationships within the different communities is kind of being dragged on a bit. The story's
I
not
mean,
progressing at
Yeah.
we
all.
get it. Negan's bad. Cool. Move
Right.
on. You don't. In a comic book, I think it's different. In a TV show, it's like we know, we get it. All
Right.
right, you've shown us basically. I think they've showed 6 episodes this season so far, and 3 of them have focused on how of a badass Negan is. It's like, yeah, okay, now what?
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to see a little bit more story progression out of them, and that's just you know I don't know, me personally. I'm like, okay, we get it. Rick, you're feeling sad. You're feeling bad about yourself not being as badass as you used to be. Got it. Now go kick his ass, Rick, or
Right.
go, something.
And he still has two hands in the TV show.
I know. I know.
Well, they've talked about that. That was early on because they were talking about how close it would be to the comic, and they said realistically, it just wouldn't make sense to take his hand
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because all the CG they'd have to do and all the writing they'd have to do to make it up realistically versus in the comic book just drawing it. They're
Yeah.
like, it's not worth doing it.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Well, I also heard too that he said he's like, I kind of just did it like for shock factor in the
Mm-hmm.
comics, and he regrets doing it because it just like he did it to be like, oh man, and then it's like, oh, this kind of caught on and people are really into it. Like, oh fuck, guys,
Fucking
my
cool,
bad,
man.
got ahead of myself there. Whatever, at least he's not Bendis, dude. I don't. Oh god, I don't know if you guys are reading Civil War 2, but it is so fucking tough to get through.
Nope.
I'm
I
not on
dropped the
Marvel at
book.
all, Lee.
Oh man, it is so just like unnecessary.
I had to drop it, man, because I picked up a couple of issues and I'm like, dude, this is dry as like 3DO turkey, man. I can't do it.
It's rough. I'm at the point where I bought enough of them. Then I'm like, all right, I'm one issue out. But this last issue, it was such a fucking waste. And they extended it one issue. They made it one issue longer because he had more to write. And this whole issue was just like a fluff filler bullshit thing. It was so fucking irritating.
I can't stand that.
Ah. I will tell you, if you guys are looking for a good comic book, Venom #1 came out. I mentioned this in my video last week too. But it's a really cool take on Venom that we haven't seen in a while, or ever with the symbiote. But so the last Venom series ended with Flash coming back to Earth from the Guardians and kind of just swinging off into the night to be Venom. And then issue #1 starts out with the symbiote detached from Flash. We don't know why or anything like that, but this dude who's like a small time criminal finds the symbiote and it attaches to him, and he's just murdering people. And the symbiote is actually not in control of itself. So this dude has full control over the symbiote and is making it kill, and it's like, no, I'm not this anymore, stop, and he's just like, oh my god, I've got this fucking power, I can do whatever I want. And I mean, you guys were reading when Venom was like in his heyday. Like, Venom is the one manipulating people and its hosts and everything else, and now this guy's manipulating the symbiote. So I thought this was a really original take, and so far it's a really good first issue. And the person he is doing crimes with is Matt Gargan.
Hmm.
So interesting stuff.
That's cool. I don't know. Like that sounds like a really good. I'm looking for the next I don't know next run of Luther Strode. That's for me.
I never read that. I heard that was really good though.
Really,
Yeah,
dude,
I
you
didn't
gotta
read
pick
it
up
either.
Luther Strode is awesome.
that's what's his name?
It's like one of my favorite comics to I'll
Um,
read those over and over again actually. So I'm
was
I'll
it?
trying
tell you
to.
the one that I'm surprised at because I was never into this story before, and he's been around since the beginning. Superman.
Oh, the new
Superman right
Superman.
now at DC, Superman and Action Comics, those are really good, really interesting.
It's really out there, and I didn't think I would be like down for it, but it's been really. It's so out there that I want to keep reading because I want to know what the fuck's going on.
Exactly. And it's not in a way that's like kind of like you were talking about with Bendis, like I just have to finish it. I started, I have to finish it. This way it's like, what is going on here? This is crazy. You have Clark Kent, you have a separate Superman who's from essentially the world we knew and are more familiar with.
Pre crisis Superman.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And then you have Lois Lane with him, and this was it the New 52. Lois Lane's missing.
No,
Um,
she's dead.
I'm sorry.
If you read Superwoman, she is Superwoman in the first issue, and then
Yes.
her body does the same thing that happens to New 52 Clark Kent's body, and now Lana Lang is Superwoman.
So that the other Lois Lane is filling in for her, which is
Yes,
awesome. And then you have a non quote unquote non villainous Lex Luthor wanting to be the new Superman of Metropolis, and you have the other Superman's son involved. It's just like, wow, this is all very cool. Where are you going with this?
yeah, I'm very surprised by it because even the New 52 stuff with Superman, I was kind of like falling out of it the more it went on, and this so far has definitely kept me interested.
On the flip side, to me, the Batman New 52 was like a home run the whole way through. I didn't like the last story, but I thought it was great the whole way through. I thought Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo did a fantastic job. Right now, I'm like, Batman's not awesome.
Up until the last issue, I thought it was good, but the last issue, like him being repetitive and then like Bane not like breaking his back again, but then not breaking his back, and then Catwoman being like a
Oh
mass
yeah.
murderer now, it really kind of threw me off. I'm gonna see it out because Tom King's a really good writer. You guys should check out Vision. The second trade just came out to complete the story that he wrote,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's really creepy and it's really good.
Yeah, I've read him. It's really good. It's really good.
I've only read the first trade, but I just bought the second one. But god damn, that was really well done. I'm gonna see it out because it's Batman. Detective Comics is actually pretty cool right now. If anybody's reading that,
I have not been reading it.
it's been James Tynan,
Hmm.
and it's been like his like Batman's team, and it's him, Batgirl. It was Tim Drake who is killed, but he's actually abducted by Mr. Oz and thrown into a cell. Where he's also grabbed like Doomsday, and everybody assumes that's where Ray Palmer is as well. So obviously, and he's big in Superman right now, so he's obviously a big player behind the scenes here with that Watchmen kind of reveal we had. But it's Clayface, Orphan, who is Cassie Kane, who was Batgirl,
Right.
Stephanie Brown as Spoiler, Batwoman, and Batman as like a team that runs around Gotham. So that's been actually pretty good.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think that's everything for me.
I've been reading The Flash, and I'm not a Flash guy, but I started reading that, and basically because of the he's sort of a big part with what's going on in this new storyline, and it's pretty good.
Flash, yeah, Flash has been good too. I like that post 52 or pre 52 Wally West is back and
Hmm.
kind of a bigger thing because I was afraid he was going to come back in Rebirth and then just kind of disappear.
Yeah, I can see that.
But he's been. I miss Wally West so much. I mean, that's the Flash I grew up with. So when New 52 came out and Wally was just unheard of, and his kids and family are gone forever, I was kind of like, guys, what the fuck is this?
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, whatever. What else? I think that's it. I think that's everything I'm reading.
Yeah, sadly, I've fallen away from. I got to get back to some of my Valiant books. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
love those stories. And then what was it? Lazarus at Image was awesome, but somehow I just kind of fell away from some of those.
Lazarus was the Greg Rucka one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I read the first couple issues of that. That was good. He's doing a really good job on Wonder Woman right now too. If you guys are picking that up,
well, that's cool.
he's every other issue. One goes to the origin, like her like year one kind of story, and then the next issue is her current timeline. But each issue kind of like mirrors itself. So there's stuff going on in her origin that are now taking place later on with everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's been killing it again. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Nerd Locker podcast. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, nerdlocker.com, here on podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. This has been Brandon, Jim, and Patrick. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
And want to thank Joe Biden for listening. And until next week, you guys have a nerdy week.